All right, guys, buck up. Here it is, Friday.
I'm not bucking anything.
No, we are, man. This is like a reset day.
All right. I'll buck up.
This is a get back on the saddle. They used to say out in the old West. They said back then, man. What is everybody? Welcome to the DNVR Nuggets podcast.
We're live from Radio Row.
Presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use the promo code DNVR365. Choose your offer. Find out why. Whatever the moment. Never ordinary at Bet365. Where are we at today? In the Xfinity studio. Throw them up there. Xfinity. Right, you can lock in that deal. 5 years, man. Lock in a deal. That's a pretty good one.
When do you think we'll get asked specifically to stop doing that?
It doesn't matter. Most of our bits are so dumb that they become what we do.
Once it gets co-opted politically, we're in trouble.
I
think until then,
I'm on some email chains that might respond to us doing this.
Great show for you lined up. As you probably heard me saying on the hot mics before our faces grace this the screen of yours. This is, to me, in many ways, the end of mourning. Like, we've been wallowing in our own pity, I feel, for the last few days. Oh, Peyton,
they keep losing.
They keep losing streak.
You gotta win one before you get out of the pity.
No. You get over your pity and then you win one. That's how it works, D-Line. You have to manifest this stuff. You're so wrong. I can't believe you, of all people, are the one saying this.
Adam just pounded the table so hard I disconnected D-Line's mic.
Mike, ding it. So D-Line, you're gonna have to lock in. Are you telling me right now D-Line's not locked in?
I am.
He's not locked in. Lock in.
My mic
dude.
isn't locked in, dude.
No, well, we're going to talk lineups today. And I have, when Jokic went down, if you guys recall, in the month of January, there was this discovery we made. There were real positives that came out of it, and we didn't see those positives going into it. Perhaps this is the same thing. We're without Aaron Gordon, Peyton Watson. So what lessons can we learn? What lineups are going to reveal themselves to us? That's the meat of today's story. And Brendan Vogt joined us to talk about it.
Yeah, just got back from a job in Rhino.
Look at that, yeah.
I was up there on the roof. I was just standing and surveying, but there were people working very hard to fix someone's roof. So
you'd probably be really good at getting into the attic.
I can fit into tight spaces. You know what I mean? I'm unafraid. And like I said on the last show, you can, if the roof is low enough, you can just chuck me up there. You don't even need ladders.
Dude, when I had to get my roof repaired and Red Hot came in, I told them you can't get into the attic because I had built the shelving to where the attic is. And I'm like, yeah, you can't get in. And they didn't even say anything. They just squeezed in. And I was like, I guess you can get in.
That's right. That's what we do, us roofers.
Yeah, there you go. Over here, D-Line Co.
I would wager a guess that Brendan has never had a callus on his hand his whole life.
I get them, but only from vanity muscle weightlifting.
Oh, there you go. I don't know if I've told you, but I actually have some on my.
Have you skinned a knee in this life?
I have. No, I actually worked a couple of manual labor jobs, out of factories and warehouses and stuff, because I didn't want to go to college, and my dad was like, "Do this for a summer." It worked. I went to college. Yeah.
Should have made you podcast for a summer.
Yeah, no kidding.
Change some plans for sure.
Today's show, guys, we're going to open up, though, with some easy ones. I really do think that we have to reset because, as I mentioned yesterday, this really is the toughest part of the schedule. In terms of the condensed, everybody's exhausted. Guys been in and out of the lineup, and they were on the road against tough teams. I mean, they played Oklahoma City as a tough team. Detroit, tough team. New York, tough team. The fact that they went 0-3, it just feels bad. But I honestly look at this and go, every year, we should all do this, where we circle a part on the calendar and we say, when is the freak out coming? Because if you can predict it, then it's not that crazy. This, to me, is the most predictable freak out stage of the entire schedule. And sure enough, people are freaking out. And I'm like, yeah, but you know what? It's predictable. It's the natural rhythm. I honestly believe that.
Well, I mean, I would agree with you if it wasn't brought on by horrific injury after horrific injury. I think it'd be a little bit more difficult to predict. Losing Nikola Jokic, having him come back, being completely out of rhythm, not looking like himself. Jamal Murray having to try to carry the load, not being able to do as much because of how much he's been playing. I agree. This is when the meat of the schedule happens, so you could theoretically look at that and be like, well, it's going to be tough. But this is terrible. This is like we're having to deal with things that are outside of the construction of the team. It's just like, again, you ask me who I blame God.
Yeah. Isn't that terrible though? They're the 3 seed. Isn't this where they were before all of this stuff happened? I mean, honestly, I'm sitting here going, it does feel terrible. I'm not taking away from it.
It's a bigger hit to the present vibes than it is the campaign,
exactly.
right? Like you're still sitting in a pretty spot out west. There was briefly a moment where somehow through it all, it looked like not only did you hold your heads above water, you could even maybe chip away at the Thunder's lead. And that got really exciting. And there were some humbling moments in there. The Thunder game was humbling. The Pistons game, I honestly thought, much like the other one, to be shorthanded to play that team and to come that close, it doesn't really grind my gears. The Thunder game was a bit humbling, but I mean, I think there was a part of it was just that it felt like somehow, some way, this team had a chance to do even more.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I think that I can pinpoint the start of my deep malaise.
Yeah.
My thick, viscous malaise.
Man, you didn't have to go that we knew exactly what you meant. You didn't have to do that.
That I am suspended in.
Is this when the malaise penetrated you for the first time?
No, dude.
Okay.
I am in the malaise.
Okay. Yeah.
I am looking around and I'm like, what? Why is this so deep and viscous?
The malaise
and the reason
comprises
is because of that goddamn Oklahoma City game. It was so terrible. It is not what I wanted to see at all. I did not want to see the Nuggets get manhandled. It's not about the outcome. It was that they came up so soft in a game that I was like, wanted to see gritty resilience in. And that's where I was like, no, you guys can only be tough against weak teams. I need to see them be tough against a tough team. And they've not gotten a lot of opportunities to do it. And that was the first real one. And that's how they came up. And so now I'm just left with being like, okay, well, when Cam comes back, it'll be different. When AG comes back, it'll be different. So I don't like that, but they just need to win again. And I'll be like, yeah, I'll go eternal sunshine, spotless mind.
Well, they are playing the Bulls, so maybe there's help on the way.
They suck against the Bulls. Although the Bulls,
you don't even know who the Bulls are.
Aren't even the Bulls.
Yeah,
the Bulls are
the
such
Bulls,
a new
dude.
team. Very hard to
This is
scout.
true.
They do have only one big player. Who is it they just signed? How do I forget this? Nick Richards. They just added Nick Richards. The Jokic
damn.
stopper.
Well, I think that's
the
how you-
Jokic stopper, if you recall.
The city of Chicago is in deep hatred with the Bulls right now. Deep.
It'd be hard not to be.
Because they only make horrible moves. Yeah, compare yourself to them. Be thankful.
It's like if the Rockies were the Bulls.
Yeah. Here's the question though that now naturally arises. You said that Jokic being out of sorts. I agree. The last 3 games have not been great for old Nikola Jokic. Yes, the numbers have been okay, but he has looked out of sorts a little bit. And so I ask, if we were to pinpoint a date when we feel Jokic is going to play to his standard, when is it? Is it tomorrow night?
I'm going to say tomorrow night because honestly,
Let's go.
Here's the thing, not to destroy the spirit of the segment. I feel like he did it against the Clippers.
Yeah, of course.
Well, that's the thing is he came back, did it bang right
Did
off
it
the bat.
immediately, and then
And
I
then
thought,
he regressed. Like that was actually pretty rude on his part.
It really was.
yeah, so that's part of it. I mean, yeah, David Adelman did try to temper expectations a little bit. It's just, okay, he's got a couple of games coming back, needs to find his rhythm, probably game shape more than anything else,
Definitely.
right? Having played a few games in a row now. This is Jokic. It's not going to take that long. I know this is on uncharted waters a bit for it, but like uncharted
Yeah, uncharted territory.
Uncharted.
Either way, I think, Jokic just kind of bounces back quickly. I expect him to be dominant soon enough. I almost feel like there was such a mental exertion to get to the point where he came back that now that he's back, everyone else is kind of like, all right, now we'll just kind of snap back to who we were. And I think it takes a little more kind of active management over the dynamic than that.
I mean, I think that's clear. That's exactly what's happening, but I didn't expect it. That's my problem. And unfortunately, or fortunately, maybe it would have been worse or better if Jokic had come back during an easy stretch instead of coming back right as the super difficult stretch happens. To me, he's just like out of shape. And he just needs to get back up, get his wind up a little bit. Like he just doesn't have the aggression. And I'm not, and obviously you're not worried that he's going to get it back, but it's just, this is when when your escape, like when your fun time is not fun, it's not fun.
That's so true. That is the problem with,
really
the Nuggets for Nuggets fans. And it is the thing about sports. And it's why I always thought it was dumb when people say to be unbiased, don't have an emotion to the team. Sports are just emotion. It's just,
can you imagine?
It's just like, this is the fun part of our day. And when you watch it and it's not fun, you're like, well, that's why it sucks. Why? Because we wanted fun today. We wanted today to not suck.
Can you imagine coldly reporting? You're like, it looks as though the city of Denver is having quite a time today. They're celebrating what I'm told is a Nuggets victory.
Yeah.
And you aren't guaranteed it even when your team's great. And that's
not at all.
But that is also what makes it so great when it hits.
Well, bro, that's the thing. There's like so much of like a human being's belief system that sports penetrates, and you just have to.
It's coming up a lot.
That was actually an appropriate use of
you're
that one was on you. You're a piece of garbage.
I didn't say anything.
I know. I was talking to
Devote. Yeah.
But the point is that like it sort of like gloms on to your belief system, and you have to be like, I believe that Nikola Jokic will take us to the, and like really like it's random, it's a ball, it's like all this stuff that it's like not necessarily, you can't count on, and that's the whole point. But you just like to say like, I think that I understand the world enough to think that this guy is good enough to get it done. And when it happens, you're like, I understand the world. And when it doesn't happen, you're like, I'm such a small, tiny little speck.
Here's let me paint a different. I agree with you. I thought maybe you guys would say after the All-Star break, it's going to be a slog, and then the All-Star break will give a rest, and then everybody's got. I actually think it's going to be tomorrow because I'm going to give you another perspective on what's happened over these last 3 games. Injuries aside. Oklahoma City is just better than Denver right now. They, you know what I mean? They're just better, and that's okay. Denver has to just get their guys back. Well, not getting their guys back, like there's stuff there. Oklahoma City's better than Denver right now. Detroit and New York, it was a 3-point game and a 3-point game, 6-point game in overtime, 7-point game, but it was double overtime. That was two very, very close games. Are the LA Clippers a physical defense?
Who are the LA Clippers again? Do you even know?
When the Nuggets played them last, were they a physical defense?
No.
Not at all. Are the Oklahoma City Thunder a physical defense?
Yes, Adam.
I'm going to go with yes.
Are the Detroit Pistons a physical defense?
I'm going to say
Where's
yes.
he going with this?
The New York Knicks are a physical defense as well,
Okay.
true physical. I think the Nuggets, this last little bit, it might not even be so much a Jokic malaise, although I do think it's a little bit of that or, whatever. I think that Denver, we've known this for years. Physicality is the thing that gives them trouble. And they just played 3 of the 4 most physical teams in the NBA, maybe 3 of the 5. And I think that's really what this is about is Denver. Not only are they getting their guys back at a specific moment in time, but if you look at that game and say Jokic wasn't himself, he's shooting these threes. Yeah, because that's what happens when physical teams don't allow you to just get the ball where you want it to go. Oh, the elbow touch is easy. Get it to Jokic and let's all do our cut game. It's no, we have to fight for that. And I just don't think Denver handled that well. But it also, in many ways, to me, lays bare the question of what Denver has to answer by the time the playoffs begin. In addition to figuring out, the rotations and all this stuff, they have to overcome physicality, and they just failed that task 3 times in a row, but narrowly. Still almost beat Detroit, still almost beat New York. Chicago's not physical. In fact, they're only guards right now. They have no size. I think Denver's going to look really good tomorrow night, and I think it has more to do with that. That really we shouldn't be looking at 3 losses in a row and this or that. We really should look at. They just happened to play 3 of the toughest physical toughness teams in a row, and they lost all 3.
But isn't that more concerning?
No.
That we've discovered that their Achilles heel has not been fixed at all?
But I think they had in previous points of the season, especially against Minnesota, proven it.
Like, that to me, it's like that's why it's so concerning. It's like you had 3 opportunities to show us that, and I do attribute a lot of it to Jokic not being in full shape. Like he doesn't have the wind to fight for an entire game, like he gets worn down.
And Murray fatigue too. I think Murray is a big part of this.
But but the part that you're just like, oh man, really? Like we got punked again like that against Oklahoma City Thunder?
To me, it's like if Murray came back from his 2-year injury and his first test was a dunk contest, you'd be like, man, he failed it.
For sure.
And I just think that's part of what it is Denver does have to check these boxes eventually, but it also was the toughest box to check right out of the package.
With Jokic still on a minutes restriction, with no Aaron Gordon, you want Aaron Gordon in your 3 most physical matchups in a row of the year, of course, right? There's no doubt about it. And the physicality part of this is 100% true. Part of this is a team that revamped their outside shooting. Percentage-wise, they're the best shooting team in the NBA. Against the Pistons, they shot 33%. Against the Knicks, they shot 26%. And even against the Thunder, I thought Jamal and Tim missed some timely ones, which is all to say, I think they do want to shoot threes against these teams. I think that's part of the solution. They do have to make them, though.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Very strange
How
times.
that works, huh? Yeah.
If you look at the schedule, though, Chicago, not necessarily physical. Cleveland, kind of, but they're a new team. So it actually, I think, will be less physical, but it'll be a little bit of a challenge. Memphis, tanking, not physical.
Dude, I am
You go to the All-Star break.
curious to see what Cleveland looks like with James Harden in there. Oh, my God. I hope he destroys
You
the
come back
entire
from the
thing.
break and you have the Clippers, who I don't think are physical. You have Portland, who is. Golden State, not so much. And then here comes, let's circle another one right now that is going to be, let's grade the Nuggets on this stretch, assuming nothing else crazy happens between now and then. They get Boston, at Oklahoma City, Minnesota. 3 very physical teams in a row. You go 0-3 there. I think we're going to look at this and say, did we learn any lessons? Now we're concerned. But to me, I look at it and say the Nuggets failed a test that they get to retake here in 3 weeks. I'm not so shook up about it. All right, let's take a break. On the other side, we're going to talk about the lineups. What is the starting lineup now? Now that we have like a whole new cast of players.
Well, no. So Peyton Watson will just start for Aaron Gordon.
You would have guessed so, but that's not the case. We're going to try to figure that out and talk about what we hope to learn about it on the other side.
Denver's best roofers are on DNVR's team. Go with the pros at Red Hawk Roofing. Get your roof checked once a year. It's preventative medicine for the home you pour your life into. Make sure you are covered with our friends at Red Hawk Roofing. Quality materials, decades of experience, quick response time. Good friends of ours, big Nuggets fans, which is huge. Colorado's best estimators and contractors, and they thrive on trust, on building a long-lasting relationship with their customers. So it could start with a small job. God forbid it may be a larger job in the future, but if it is, you know exactly who to call. Supporting your local teams means also supporting local businesses like Red Hawk Roofing. If you're looking for a new roof over your home or business, be sure to check out Red Hawk Roofing at redhawkroofing.com or call 720-771-8921. Tell them DNVR sent you. Shout out Shopify, the e-commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US. Here at DNVR, we comprise an employee base that had dreams. We dreamed of working in sports. We dreamed of impacting the culture here in Denver. And I know my friend D-Line co-dreamt of selling his shirts, and he does that with Shopify, who powers our DNVR merch store. If you've got a business idea that you'd like to bring to life, just know that Shopify has got you covered with website creation, product descriptions, email, social media marketing, and more. They also have AI tools designed to help you maximize those sales. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into... with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/allcity. That's shopify.com/allcity.
All right, back here, segment 2, DNVR Nuggets podcast. Throw us a like if you're enjoying it. Hop in the chat there, talk along to us. Let's talk about the starting lineup because let's talk about it because we have not yet seen the report on Cam Johnson. I'm guessing he's still out. I know Adelman said he would love to see him before the All-Star break. We'll just wait and see. But in the meantime, you are now down a couple new guys. You are down maybe even Spencer Jones tomorrow night. He's got that concussion. We'll see if he's able to bounce back. But you're down Peyton Watson and Aaron Gordon, which means there's no natural starting lineup to go to. There's not like, though, because both of those guys, Peyton Watson would replace Aaron Gordon. So now they're both out, and you think, what is it going to be? The available players for the rotation are Jokic, Murray, Christian Brown, Spencer Jones, Tim Hardaway Jr., Bruce Brown, Valanciunas, Strother, Pickett, Zeke, and Holmes. I think Murray and Jokic are a lock to start.
I do too. I actually think that, yeah.
All right, I won't argue.
I think Christian Brown is a lock to start.
I think so. Dude, that is a horrifying image.
I remember that.
We keep doing this one. I don't know why.
That's straight burn.
I think maybe not as early as tomorrow, but Spencer Jones seems like the most natural power forward that you're going to throw in there, just based on size. You could say Zeke Naji, I guess, but I just don't see it. I think Nuggets are going to go with Spencer Jones when available. So those 4 guys seem like a lock to me. And when Cam Johnson's healthy, he's a lock. If he's not, I actually think you either go to Tim Hardaway Jr. or Julian Strother here. We've seen Adelman skip the backup just to keep Tim Hardaway in that spot and maybe go to Strother. But it doesn't matter because Cam, Tim Hardaway Jr., Strother, we're really talking about a starting lineup. If it's Cam Johnson, as I think it will be for most of this, what do you guys make of that lineup right there? And what do you hope to learn about it? What's the thing we can get out of this? It's like, hey, that was when so-and-so did this.
Well, that's the closest to their actual intended starting lineup. We're just having Spencer Jones replacing AG. So you can kind of see what the guys that are going to be playing outside the arc a little bit can do together. You can put Spencer Jones in that dunker spot. You can kind of emulate what they're doing offensively, at least, and then you have like some semblance of what it's like on defense. So I would expect them to just kind of keep that together so they can, like, at least the other four guys can get a little cohesion going before they hopefully get Aaron Gordon back, and then you just actually have your intended starting lineup. What a crazy thought. Like, I imagine, though, until Cam John is back, if he ever comes back. Are we sure he's coming back?
Who knows?
Did Shams have anything to say about this?
He's ahead of schedule.
Okay, cool. What's the schedule?
He would be behind it, I think. Yeah.
But I mean, Shams might report it as ahead. You just never know.
I believe that Julian Strother will take that spot, because I do think that the idea of bringing Tim off the bench is like a good way to play in general. It's also a good way to have his mind ready, to just be that sixth man by default. That's the way I would handle it.
But I agree that is. But what do we get out of that? It feels more just like a lesser version of the starting lineup. Is there something that if that lineup is happening? Let's talk with the Cam one first.
Well, yeah, to Eric's point, if you're looking at that as sort of an approximation of what they wanted to do and a certain comparable version of it, how do teams guard Christian Brown? How does Christian Brown respond? What does he have in the half court? I think he can still score off split actions against teams like the Bulls. That stuff won't always be there against the Pistons and the Thunder, who are smart and capable defensively. But yeah, what's his role in this? I thought he did. I like when Christian does the dirty work. He rebounded well in that last game. He defended a little better than he got credit for. So offensively, it was definitely still a whoa, what's even the plan? But you can see that he still brings other stuff to the table. So can he find his footing offensively? What's his role in the half court? That's what I have my eye on.
So for me, this one is a little bit different. To me, I think this lineup's all about Cam Johnson, because Aaron Gordon is a top guy. And I think what we saw in the first month of the season when everybody was healthy, we saw Cam Johnson kind of become the fourth or fifth option in the starting lineup.
Right.
And I think in this one, he's clearly the third. And it allows for him to spread his wings in a way that, wouldn't that be the greatest thing we can get out of not having Peyton and Aaron Gordon? Two guys that have sort of passed Cam Johnson in the pecking order of just like the guys that are scoring points. I think the best thing we can get out of this is Cam Johnson returns and has a Peyton Watson-esque rise of, okay, this is the level of aggressiveness I am afforded in this group, and my confidence is there. And if you have Spencer Jones and CB around you, they need him to be aggressive. That would be the thing that 1 month from now, when guys start to come back, that's what I'm hoping we're saying is Cam Johnson got his rhythm in this chapter. That's what it was all about.
Yeah, I mean, him and Christian. It's like those are the two guys that are, we saw, he had a really slow start with the Denver Nuggets, did Cam Johnson, and he finally found it. It found like we got to the point where we were like, yep, there it is. Nope, knocking down threes, starting to trust it. This is incredible. Just giving you reliable performances. Like, you were never like, what the hell's up with this guy? Like at the beginning, you were like, were we swindled? Like,
yeah,
were
but
we
they
lied
kept
to?
winning though. That's the only reason I always pushed back on that is the Nuggets just were winning and winning easy. And so it didn't feel like they were missing something. It just felt like that's not how we pictured it.
No, but to the point of what you're talking about is just having him rise.
Yeah.
He didn't early, he did late. Hopefully he comes back and it's like that. We don't have to go through the same acclimation process.
Yeah.
But if we get those two guys, like Christian Brown getting to the point where everyone's like agrees he's worth $25 million a year versus right now where it's like, they're like comparing him to his contract to Zeke's. Like if we get to that point where it's just like, dude, these guys are incredible.
I haven't seen that, but I believe it.
Dude, it's insane.
Cam Johnson has 3 20-point games this year.
Yeah.
2 of them come in losses. That to me is like, okay, this is an opportunity. Could he get 5, 6, 7 over the next 12?
And I would think at least 2 of them came while Aaron Gordon was out as well. Because this dynamic you're talking about, we saw some of it earlier. That like as Cam stepped into that bigger role, he looked better. So I think there's a lot to this. Also, man, watching some of these games against the Pistons and the Knicks, you keep going, like, even if I just tell myself there's no Aaron Gordon, it just still feels like they're missing something. It's like, yeah, Cam Johnson, actually.
Yeah.
Cam Johnson's a guy who unlocks a lot for this offense. And it, should he get healthy, it'll go a long way.
So I would say that's what I hope to learn. If this is the starting lineup, and I kind of project it to be, if that's the starting lineup, number one for me is Cam Johnson just getting the right rhythm. And okay, he's more aggressive because he has to be, and he doesn't feel. I mean, if you watch that pod with MPJ, he really is kind of hinting at it's hard to know where you fit in because you don't want to take away from the greatness of those other guys. And hopefully this is one where he does find that comfort zone. And I would agree to it. For me, it's a lesser extent with CB. I just don't know if I need CB to play like Peyton Watson. That doesn't mean I don't like Peyton Watson in that spot more than CB. I'm just saying I don't know that I want CB to be like, okay, there he is. He's stepping out. Just find the split cuts, the slips, and knock down your threes. Yeah. And if that's 12 points a game, 14, whatever it is, I don't care. Just get to that rhythm. So to me, I think he will find that rhythm because he's been doing it for 3 years.
We hope so because he has. That's why everyone's so full of angst is that he's not shown it. I don't think even once this year. Like he started off slow, he got hurt, and then he's come back. And I agree with you. It's like we don't need him to be spectacular like Peyton Watson has been. Yeah. We need him to be completely solid. Like we need him to be. Play great on defense and make the play when it comes to him on offense and get the quick slip screen like you guys are talking about for the easy dunk when you're least expecting it and all the stuff like finishing at the rim and like all the stuff that last year made everyone fall deeply in love with him and think that we literally thought we should have a campaign for him to be the most improved player. He finished 4th.
Yeah. He has 2 20-point games. So Cam has 3. He has 2, and he's only played 16 games. So he's played about 2/3 the games, and he has 2/3 of the 20-point games. So I'm a little less worried about that. Let's go to, though, if Julian Strawther does get called up, if Cam Johnson's not back and we get 2-3 games or whatever of that. It is another one. Here's the thing, man. Julian Strawther's year has also been a little bit hidden because right when he was going to get his opportunity, he got hurt.
Yep.
And so he hasn't played as much as you remember. Like, you know what I mean? Like he missed that big stretch and he's actually playing some of his most consistent basketball lately. It's another thing. Like I'm not expecting him to have a Peyton Watson-esque breaking out, but you go to that lineup. The number one thing I'm hoping, just shoot the ball, man. Quit with this off the dribble game. I don't want him empowered to be as off the dribble as he has been. Make quick reads. If you have a lane to the basket to get to the rim, do it. If not, move the ball and move around and get open again, but just shoot the ball when he has it. If he is starting, I think there's a great opportunity for him to have some games. I don't care. Have some games where you're 2 of 11, but just get your threes up. I don't want to see 6 threes, 6 floaters.
I feel like the last 3 games we saw some of that.
Yeah, I agree.
I think maybe it was the Detroit game in particular. No, I'm thinking actually it's OKC. He got a couple of them up really decisively and quickly from the corner. He's confident when he sees those uniforms, which is kind of ironic because so many offensive players aren't. But see, I think, look, Julian Strawther in his last 3 games is averaging 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. I think he's got something to offer if he can knock down his shot. I think that would maybe come by prioritizing it like you were talking about, just kind of making it the staple of his game offensively. He's a good defensive rebounder. He actually is.
And the Nuggets need that.
And the Nuggets do. You kind of don't think of him as someone who brings length to the table until you see him go up and high point one, and you're like, actually. And he can put the ball on the floor in a pinch. So this is a guy who in theory has stuff to offer. And I agree with the major premise that while this is not the year that he's wanted, there's sort of been some untimely developments that, like, I don't think we know for sure that Strawther is can't do this, can't contribute. I think there's a chance he can.
Let me ask you this question. There's 3 guys. Let's say all 3 of them are good. None of them are bad, but one of them has a breakout, and it's Christian Brown, Cam Johnson, or Julian Strawther. You only get to pick one.
Oh, it's Cam Johnson.
Okay.
For sure. I mean, like has the opportunity to be the most dynamic and he's the better player. And like, if you think about if at this moment the trade deadline happens and we're like, we just acquired Cam Johnson. How excited,
that's true.
How excited you would be. It's like, that's how much we're missing. Like what that would do, like that would be turn the NBA news on its head. If you added a player of Cam Johnson's stature at this stage in the,
it's a great way to put it.
It would be a great. So yes, like I like Julian Strawther. I think he's a good shooter. I think he's a good shooter. Can you hear me? I think he's a good shooter. I think he has the right temperament. I think he can step up when moments are big, and that's all stuff that like you can't count on the average basketball player to give you. His year's been super weird. Although he is making good use of the opportunity he's getting now. He fell all the way to the bottom of the totem pole. And he's now kind of getting back to where people are thinking about him as like a legitimate like player, regardless of how impactful, like even a player. But I just think he can do stuff, man. I like the idea of Cam being really like Tim Hardaway confident and just coming out and like when he has that shot, like you're saying, like just dude, take it. Like go Jordan Poole on our ass every now and again, not all the time, but he's more conscious and cerebral.
I think it's less about his 3-point shot because he's not Tim Hardaway. We're just going to gut him up, but he is a much better pick and roll, like getting to the rim. And I hope, and that's the part I think he's been most like in his head about is he has a lot of those drives. If you recall back to when he was healthy, a lot of drives where he'd turn the corner and make a horrible pass or just stop.
Yeah.
And then they have to reset the offense. And it's like, no, just be aggressive. Man.
Or that kind of angle where he has to fall away and toss it up. Yeah. But I feel like these last 3 games, the angles have been better too. I don't know. He's working hard. Look, Tim's above him and should be, but while guys are hurt, there's still room for Julian.
Well, I'll just throw one counter example for you. If it is CB, we're looking a lot at the summer where I think the Nuggets are going to have to decide between Cam or Peyton Watson. If CB has the breakout here and Peyton Watson's already had the breakout, it might be one of those things where you just go into the next year going, you know what, we loved Cam, he gave us a year, but we know who our 5 guys are, and they've all are now coming together at a point where you can trust them. So there is something too. If CB had a legitimate breakout, we forget this, but he was passing the ball really well. You know, that was one thing that CB had added was getting into it. And remember all the passes to Yoke? Like he was really figured out how to get him the ball.
So unsure currently. It's so weird. He looked so confident and like just filled that role of the guy that you're just like, dude, this guy's a winner. He's going to figure out what to do at the right time. Yeah. And he looks so timid out there now.
Did have 6 assists against the Knicks, so maybe that's
the passing to Yoke specifically might be a thing that makes you feel a little bit better about, okay, everyone has a role to play in this offense going forward. But I will say this, there's a chance it's all of them. And that's what happened for a couple weeks when Yoke first went down. It wasn't just Peyton Watson. It was also Spencer. It's like everybody was playing well. And there's a chance that happens here. And if it does, this whole chapter that we're in that feels like purgatory will actually feel a little bit more like training ground as before it all coalesces and comes together. All right, let's take a break. On the other side, that's the starting lineup. What about the stagger? The stagger gets very interesting.
I'm going to stay tuned for this one. I'm going to stay tuned.
New build, restoration, and construction. Licensed general contractors who can help with any project, big or small. They're available 24/7. They care about being there for you, the customer. There are over 600 reviews you can check out that prove that to be true. They'll work with your insurance to make sure a stressful process is as smooth as possible. They offer repair services like fire damage, water damage, mold removal, commercial projects. They do a lot. They do it all. They are true DNVR fans, and we're excited to support their business as well. When that home emergency hits, New Built Restoration and Construction will be there at nubilt.com or 720-903-4254. Let New Built Restoration and Construction know that DNVR sent you. The Luxe Value Menu at Taco Bell delivers bold, irresistible flavor at unbelievable prices with a lineup of crave-worthy items. They're all under $3. From savory classics to indulgent new favorites, each item is crafted to satisfy those big cravings without a big spend. These uniquely craveable items are available every day. While some value menus lack flavor or uniqueness, Taco Bell's Luxe Value Menu is filled with innovative products that only Taco Bell can deliver. Try that new Chipotle Ranch Chicken Stacker, the mini taco salad, the beefy potato loaded griller, or the Nacho Supreme dip with some chips. Finish your order off with an order of these salted caramel churros to complete your meal. For $3 or less, the 10-item Luxe Value Menu is unmatched. Nobody delivers everyday value and supports your hometown teams like Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Generational run right now.
Too self-aware.
Welcome back, you guys. Segment 3, DNVR Nuggets podcast. All right, let's talk about the bench stagger. This one is harder to parse out, in part because if we don't know the starting lineup, those decisions affect the stagger even more. But I have 2. One's the Murray stagger, and we'll start here. You obviously go back to Jamal Murray as the guy to carry the bench. Even if Cam Johnson comes back, I think that for a while there, he'll be on a minutes restriction, so he won't be the stagger. You go with Murray. Obviously, Val is a lock. Bruce Brown, I think, is a lock. From there, I would say actually Tim Hardaway Jr. is probably, but again, if he's starting, but I think that he is a lock to be there, which means you're kind of deciding between Julian Strawther and Zeke Naji. So if you have Cam, Tim Hardaway Jr., Val, Bruce, what's interesting about this one is you've got 2 shooters. You need both defense and a shooter. You don't have that. So what makes more sense there, guys? Zeke Naji and you're a little bigger, or Julian Strawther, and you have more shooting on the court.
I mean, to me, it depends on who you're playing. Like Zeke Naji, it's like if you need more size, you need more defense. And if you're going up against a smaller lineup, then you probably put Julian in so you can get more outside shooting. I don't know, man. It's like this is where you have to go straight mad scientist on everyone's ass and just be like, what are we doing? Like, what do we have today? Okay, this theoretically makes more sense. This guy should beat that guy. This guy should beat that guy.
Yeah.
And like have to do it that way. Cause like, I don't know, like this is the hardest part is that you don't know what you're supposed to be building towards with like these weird lineups. Like,
so that's Tim, Bruce, and Murray all on the floor at the same time.
Yes.
Then I'm going to say Zeke. I'm going to say you have your ball handling, your shooting covered in aggregate, and I'll say Zeke for the size and defense. And Zeke honestly has been good defensively. Well, not just you know, like with the Zeke asterisk or anything. He can play defense. He's had some great games, and I think that this team needs that. So maybe if he's playing at the 4 next to Val, that's a rebounding defense advantage.
You're either really tiny or kind of big. Because if you go for Zeke and Val, that's pretty big. That's like a traditional front court.
Kind of big.
But if you go the other way, it's Murray, Bruce, Strawther, Tim Hardaway Jr. That's like
small.
4 guards. So it's kind of an extreme. And I think this is where you really get into the crunch of Denver doesn't have, you know, the perfect guys there. Obviously, Spence fills that role. And Peyton Watson fills that role when everybody's healthy. But in the interim, Spence starting, and now you're just kind of stuck here. I'm kind of inclined to go to Strawther. Nuggets defense hasn't been great, and if it really suffers, then maybe you have to make an adjustment. But that bench unit, I don't like when it can't score. I just hate it. There's nothing worse than when you watch the bench and you're like, okay, they just gave us 5 minutes and 3 points, and it didn't feel like they were unlucky. And so if you go with Murray, Tim Hardaway, Strawther, and Big Val, I'm like, that's actually, that lineup should score.
They definitely should. I mean, I think they should be able to score just Murray, Tim, and Val, to be honest. So
yeah.
But you're right. Like that's just sort of like to Eric's point, there's kind of a wholesale mind like shift here of like, do I want size or do I just want to load up offensively? I would worry if that group is just too small and too compromised defensively, especially depending on how exhausted Jamal is at that point in the game or whatever. So I'll say Zeke, but mostly because I think Tim has the Strawther spot covered. I've been impressed with Strawther over the last 3 games. I really have.
What about what you learned from a lineup like that? I'll tell you what I think. Bruce has been on a run. This would be a lineup that maybe needs him to be even more, you know, loud because he's kind of the only defender. If he throws Zeke in, he got another one. But it might be for Bruce to be out there where it's like you don't have to be the point guard. You don't have to do everything on offense. You don't really even need to, you know, make the shots when you're open. What we really need is for you to be such a defensive force that it carries that lineup defensively.
Yeah,
that's his sweet spot.
Absolutely. I mean, man, this is just such a weird time. I just cannot wait. I want there to be, I feel like I've seen one update for Cam over the last like 10 months. And it was like he was wearing shorts or something. That was like,
I asked him like a week and a half ago and he said he was neither behind schedule nor was there a setback. He just didn't want to rush it.
Are you interested in an answer that's not an answer?
Yeah, he just said he didn't want to rush it. So, I mean,
no kidding.
But he was quick to say that he'd been getting a lot of work in on the court. So
that's good.
I mean, are we at 6 weeks now?
Bro, I don't know. I don't know. All I said is that I knew that Nikola Jokic would come back sooner than you thought, and Cam would come back much later than you thought.
So, and now that it's happening, you're pissed.
Well, no, I mean, I'm pissed just because this sucks. Like, I want to have fun again. That's why I'm pissed.
You know what this lineup tells me, though? That no matter what you go with, it's kind of compromised. And I wonder if this next month is going to feel more like the last couple of years of the Nuggets, where the starters are great and the bench blows it. And it's just we're back in that rhythm.
Was this your quote where you were saying that the act of watching basketball, following a basketball team, is just waiting for your team to get together? That one, just always, every year somebody's out.
Oh, yeah. We were just talking about this, that you're just waiting for it.
Art every year is just like, to be a basketball fan, it's just you waiting for your team to finally be together.
And it's a different team's turn at every point in the season. So right now the Hornets look awesome. And you're like, are they good? And you're like, well, they're healthy. So nobody else is.
And then at the end of the year, half the teams are tanking and some team goes on a crazy run. You're like, I don't know, man. They're looking pretty sweet.
By the way, underrated thing about the trade deadline, there's a lot of teams that have just like put the big.
For sure.
They are tanking not just a little. They're like, we are going to lose every game from here on out.
I can't wait to see the Bulls because I literally cannot picture them currently.
So I do think it was the 23rd he got hurt, right?
Did you just do math?
No, I did a date calculator.
Hell yeah.
I'm actually not
He
kidding.
was looking
That's
at
what I
he was
did.
definitely counting one at a time.
I was for a second. So I think 6 weeks was February 3rd. So it's
he
about,
is. He's
so we're
past
3 days
6 days.
over.
it's about time.
But that was their last game, so now it's like if he plays, it'd be right on. God, it would.
Should he been like
That's why I'm looking at this injury
reevaluated a couple days ago? So we again saw pictures of him wearing tennis shoes this time.
I think honestly
Sneakers?
there was a little bit of what happened. Like they saw what happened to
Christian.
Christian, and I think Cam was like, there's a difference between technically I can go and am I going to be myself out there?
Yeah, we're gonna be mad at him for not being back, but he might be the only one that like was smart about this. And
Oh,
it's like-
totally. And we'd be so much more mad at him. We came back and sucked.
and got hurt. And got hurt immediately.
100%,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, he's
Alright,
doing
that's-
it right. It just sucks.
That's one stagger. The other stagger is if Cam Johnson is given this. And again, this probably you have to ramp up to this. But if you go with Cam Johnson,
Julian THJ is just
it's just tough.
it's just a terrible look.
Val still a lock. This one allows you to play both Bruce and Pickett should you want because your Cam, it's not a point guard, it's not Murray, so you could go with Bruce and Pickett, and then you're basically picking between Tim Hardaway Jr. and Strother. This might be my preferred, honestly, stagger. We were seeing some good traction with Cam before it all went to hell. I kind of, and it just fits more naturally with what Denver has available to him. I just don't know if we'll get to this until after the All-Star break.
Right. The data is really encouraging though on Cam and Val on the floor at the same time. That stagger was working. And the other thing about this is there's a difference between minutes played and what types of minutes you played. And I think at this point with how Jamal Murray's season has gone, not making him kind of carry a bench lineup could
Yeah, I
go a
agree.
long way.
I
So
agree.
just there's the fact that this kind of worked at times, especially right before the injury, but B, Murray's sort of load management to consider. I like this look. It was one of the reasons why losing Cam was,
Yes.
sneaky a bigger deal even than you already thought because he was really helping with these bench minutes.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with the major premise that fewer Murray minutes are better than more Murray minutes, especially when we've seen every meaningful star on this team get hurt this year. And that would, I mean, I can't even utter any words that whatever, dude, I can't, it's bad. It's bad. I agree. Like I would rather that Cam stagger, I'm curious to see what you're saying. We've seen that exact lineup before.
I don't know if we've
have a
seen every
memory.
single piece of that lineup. I mean, it probably because
I think we have.
Yeah,
We would have seen.
I'll look it up right now.
Yeah.
What I'm more saying is that given that Denver is basically down power forwards, Aaron Gordon and Peyton Watson, who could play that, it makes more sense that Cam Johnson would stagger because he can play power
Yeah,
forward there.
makes sense.
Whereas those other lineups make more sense in terms of the quality of players that are playing, but they're all
Right,
guards.
right.
And effectively, you're putting Julian Strother at power forward.
Right.
Or Zeke Naji. So to me, this one is the one that, and again, if it works, if you do, it's something you learned about your team that you can go into the final month of the season and say, okay, we know that Cam staggering with Big Val, there's something to it. And that's a value add. You put him and a Tim Hardaway Jr. on the floor together, and it's like, okay, that's kind of intriguing. That lineup has played 18 minutes, so it's not like it's played a ton. Variations of it have played significantly more.
How'd those 18 go?
They got outscored by 2 points.
Well,
But if you take off the Jalen Pickett portion of that,
Right. That's what I was.
they played 65 minutes.
how'd
which
those
is
65 go?
they were a positive in those
Okay.
65 minutes. They were, you know what they were? 135 offense, 125 defense. So they did not get any stops, but they scored a lot.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, why not? It could work. All of that's to say, I think that's something that could come out of probably not before the All-Star break, but after it. Is you kind of get some lineups that you wouldn't have got to otherwise that might tell you something about your team. To end the show, you know what else we saw in this last game? Was it actually against Detroit, I think, that we saw it? The double big lineup.
Yep.
and it was great.
And it helped him get back into it. And we know that Adelman has been somewhat obsessed with this, even though he hasn't played it. He kept teasing it, and it was taken from him. This is my intriguing random lineup. Just a lineup that we might discover that could be really good. And I was hoping that this lineup would have been CB, PY, and AG, but it sounds like we'll never see that lineup. This one, Murray Jokic. You go with Christian Brown. I'm sorry, Murray Jokic, and you go with Val, Cam Johnson, and Tim Hardaway Jr. So this is the double bigs. You're going to play a lot of zone, but you put your two best shooters on the court, Tim Hardaway Jr. and Cam Johnson, three best shooters, and Jamal Murray. I'm like, that's what you need around that lineup is shooting. Your defense suffers. This is not a defensive lineup, but you're just playing zone anyway, and you have great rebounding in this lineup because you have the two bigs out there. This might be actually a fun lineup. Like, I actually think there's a chance that we get into the back half of February, and this lineup is like, damn, we just won 3 games in a row because that lineup just bullied everyone.
And it would be the sickest version of that would be Peyton Watson instead of Tim, where he can also shoot. But yeah, I mean, that's like the idea of spacing, just completely spreading out. Jokic in the middle, Big Val kind of gets out of the way. I mean, I guess he can't probably go to the corner, but feels like Jokic could find an open guy, especially since I imagine they would probably double him.
I think it's the high-low is what you end up doing is you have Jokic at the elbows and him down low, and he just tries to post up, and it's a lot of Jokic. Quick entry.
Yeah, I guess Jokic could honestly stay way up top too.
Yeah.
Like that's like this comment says, it's really your 4 best shooters with Jokic in there as well. Yeah, I mean, that's just one where you have to tell yourself consciously before the stint goes. Like, it's about the final tally on plus minus. We're not going to get stops. You're going to give up a lot of points. It's going to feel like it stinks. But if you're scoring more on the other end, in rebounding and just finishing the possession, that's the one thing they would have defensively is they would be way more likely to seal teams off at one possession.
But don't you feel like if it was Peyton Watson instead of Tim, that it would actually be a good defensive lineup? Like you have
anytime you have the two bigs, you have to play a zone, and so it takes.
But I mean, Peyton Watson has shown that he can bring weak side defense a lot. He's been protecting the rim a lot, and you got to think that it's actually intimidating for guards to try and get into the paint when there's 2 huge guys just sitting there waiting for them. It would just be a lot of 3-point shooting. And I feel like Jamal and who else was there? Who's the third? Cam could, do perimeter defense. I don't know. To me, it might be a good defensive lineup.
Well, the other thing that you brought up about how we're just going to give up a lot of points, not necessarily, because this is not a starting or closing lineup. This is a curveball lineup.
Right.
And a lot of teams stagger so that they have equal amounts of offense and defense and size and guard play out. But that might be one of those lineups where teams have a rotation and they're like, well, we have to put 2 bigs on the floor now.
Yeah.
But to beat that zone, we have to put shooters out. And so they end up messing with their own rotation. And I think that's why Adelman likes the idea of this lineup is he's like, it doesn't mess our rotation up, but it might mess yours up.
Totally.
And that might be the whole point of it is teams have to decide either to lose those minutes or to really go away from what they like to play.
That I think is part of it too. We've actually seen Adelman sort of kind of react to unorthodox rotation decisions before, and you can see it kind of takes him out of his game. And I think that would be part of it because when you're scouting for the Nuggets, honestly, there's no way you're sitting there spending too much time thinking about that look. There's no way, right? Yeah. But it could be one where it just sort of, okay, we need to get size out there, but that sort of compromises everything else we wanted to do. I like it as a curveball look. It helped them as a last resort curveball look the last time we saw it. So, yeah, just intriguing. At the very least, it's intriguing.
Yeah. The only other lineup that we have that I put out there is kind of a standard one. It wouldn't start, but this could be your first sub. If you get to Cam Johnson, Tim Hardaway Jr., Jamal Murray, it's just an interesting combo. And then you keep Christian Brown out there. Maybe that's Bruce Brown. You keep one guy who's kind of your defensive anchor along with Jokic. And I just want to see more minutes with Cam Johnson, Murray, and Tim Hardaway Jr. You give Jokic 3 elite shooters. I'm like, yeah, that's like a cheat code.
I know. It's like I've just dreamed about having Jokic play with Murray and Curry, like what that would be like, the most incredible thing of all time.
Christian will be so unfathomably open.
Yeah, that's the,
what I mean.
That's the problem, dude. He's got to start knocking him down. He's got to get confident, man.
That would be a good lineup to get some nice.
He was definitely at 40% plus at least at the end of last year. He was like dead eye for
in
a
the
while.
Regular season. He shot really well on those wide open looks.
Yes.
Now in the playoffs, teams are going to make him shoot it. We all know that. But yeah, I wonder in that grouping, he would just
be
looks.
the most wide open you've ever seen anybody.
Maybe it's even Spencer Jones, since all of those guys are naturally 1, 2, 3s. Mm-hmm. I mean, Cam can play the 4, but maybe it's Spencer Jones that goes out there, and he might even be better than CB in terms of just like, yeah, you're not touching the ball now. Shoot it in the corner and just guard and be the stopper. Could be. So I think there's stuff Denver could do. And this is why I like. It's not how I would draw it up because I really want to get to these lineups that have P. Watt and AG alongside Jokic and Murray. I just want to see it. But that was taken from us. But some of these other lineups to me could be intriguing. And the double big is right at the top of that list. It could be Adelman's vision of trying to see if they have something to this. It's not impossible that 5 months from now, we're saying the lineup that won the Nuggets a championship was the double big. Not because it played a ton, but just because every team was thrown off by it. It was their curveball that they got to throw, a handful of times every inning, and it won them. So there's some positives that can come out of that, even if it kind of sucks.
Totally. I mean, early in the year, we were talking about what does that double big lineup look like?
Yeah.
Could it? Maybe.
One last thought, and this is really aimed right at Eric. If Yoke's playing, it's fun. I know it hasn't been the last little bit because obviously it's been frustrating, but we just went through a period without Yoke, and we enjoyed half of it.
Sure.
The back half we didn't. I'm like, Murray and Jokic are healthy. Like, oh, okay, we don't get all the other pieces, but I take our chances with those two way more than I would take them without them, and everybody else is healthy. And so this doom and gloom of like they're shorthanded, they're going to limp to it. I'm like, Jokic and Murray are enough to win a lot of games, and they're healthy. And by the way, the other guys are pretty good too. Tim, Cam Johnson, CB, Spence, like there's still guys that are good. So
you're more likely to go 10-6 with these two guys than the prior configuration, right?
And maybe even a little better because we are at post trade deadline phase, and there are all these teams, especially some coming up on the schedule, that do not look competitive at all. Let's just look real quickly. I want to talk about the Bulls because they play them tomorrow. D-line, give me their depth chart.
Okay, I know they have Anthony Simons.
They do have him now. He can be a Nugget killer, man.
I believe they still have Josh Giddey.
He's out, though, but he has an injury, so he's out. Yeah.
He's still a member of the team. I know they no longer have Kevin Huerter. I know they have my guy, Yabusele.
They do have him, actually. You're right. And he had a good game, I think, in his debut.
I know, yes. And I believe they also have...
Played like ass.
They got... oh, God.
So
who was
dumb.
that guy?
Are you out already?
No, I just can't remember his name.
What's he look like?
He's an African-American gentleman.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
God damn it. Anyway,
Does he have a patch in his hair? Is that who you're thinking of?
Nope, wasn't thinking of him.
Okay.
Fill me in, please.
Well, you have Matas Bucelis. I can't believe he didn't get that one.
I was trying to think of the new guys.
Yeah. They do have Patrick Williams, who's the only old guy.
Right.
Yeah. He sucks.
Hate him.
Everybody's joking that they tore down everybody, but the least favorite. It's like if the Nuggets did a rebuild and only kept Zeke Naji.
Yes.
You'd be like, really?
Yes.
We started doing this one.
Yes.
They have Isaac Okoro.
That's what
and Jaden Ivey.
Isaac Okoro and Jaden Ivey was who I was trying to think of.
They have two players on the entire roster who are 6'10" or taller.
Yes, and they have the...
Yoke's going to go crazy tomorrow, man. He's got to.
Yuki...
That guy's not really a play. He's like a two-way guy, but he's so fun.
He's their Campazzo.
Yeah, he is. He's such Campazzo. Japanese
They
Campazzo.
kind of have a roster full of Campazzos. It's so funny that Rob Dillingham is on the Bulls.
Oh, I forgot Rob Dillingham.
Oh, that's right. He's there.
They had too many guards, and so they brought in Sexton and Dillingham. You're like, that's awesome.
Dude, Christian Brown has to have a big game tomorrow.
I know.
He's too strong for all these guys.
Right. But since earlier you were directing your opening statement directly at me, I feel as though
you can retort
I get to
or
respond. I agree. Jokic and Murray are good, and they are good players,
and they're fun.
I do agree they're fun, but my thing is like I care what happens in like this each game. You know what I mean? Not just like the idea of the guys. Like so,
I think
the last three have
games.
been very unfun.
Yeah,
and until it gets fun, it's not fun. But I don't think there's doom and gloom for the season at large. I just feel like we're in a tunnel and I can't hold my breath any longer.
So before the All-Star break at Chicago tomorrow, they don't have a back-to-back, so every game is spaced out every other day. At Chicago, Cleveland, and Memphis, both of those teams at home.
They could, absolutely win
table,
some
man.
of these. They honestly, this is now into if they lose them, I'll be even more despondent.
That's true.
So we're in again, obviously, I recognize the fact that they just need a break, and the Nuggets need to come back. It's just we're just in the middle of it. This is the dog days, bruh.
I'm gonna say there's a form of a Christian Brown breakout resurgence in how he
that would be so fun, dude.
James Harden in that Cleveland matchup.
Ooh, that would be
see, that's what I'm talking about. I want a night where we're like Christian, he's back. I want a he's back night, dude.
First, I need a Jokic. He's back. I think we're getting it tomorrow, though. I honestly look at the Chicago team, and I'm like, man, he is going to have either 50 points or 15 assists, and possibly both. Like, they don't have anybody that can come close to guarding him.
He put up amazing stats the game before last and kind of the last one, and it still wasn't great. I just want
but these will be a dominant.
I want this to be.
Dominant.
I just
He might have 20 rebounds.
My eye test needs to be solved.
I think it's going to be solved tomorrow. I really do think it has as much to do with the physicality of those teams, and it always throws Denver off. Not always, but it throws Denver's off a lot. And Chicago is not physical, man. They're so tiny.
Yeah.
They're so tiny. They can't be physical. And if they are, you can take
Are you
advantage
able to
of it.
picture them? I cannot picture them.
That's because they literally have not been pictured. Cleveland, Memphis. There you go. And then you get the All-Star break, and it's like we get to fully reset. I do feel like the All-Star break will be mentally, it'll feel like a new season.
I completely agree. I almost feel like they're ready for that. Of like, whatever this was, let's put it behind us and hit some sort of refresh. So I think we're close to it. And I'm excited. I think this season's been way better and more fun than it feels like in this very moment.
I know we're just in the lowest moment.
You know
what I would call it? A nadir.
I would figure there's three things, or dog days or malaise. Who's to say? But I'm excited for. I think this team deserves its proper due. I think they've worked really hard, and so I'd like to see them kind of take that deep breath and come out and be themselves.
They do have 3 games against Utah and 3 games against Memphis. Those are teams that are like super tanking. By the way, man, we might see some all-time tanking because the standings are kind of condensed. Have you guys looked at this? The standings are condensed, and there's a lot of teams that are just totally thrown in the towel. I forgot to ask you, are you guys, the Pacers have made a sneaky move getting Zubats.
Yeah.
They're 13-38. Have you seen what their protections on this pick?
So
it's
only
so great.
5 for 9 can go to the Clippers?
Correct. Is it the Clippers that they owe it to? Is that who? Oh, yeah. It's for Zubats.
Zubats.
Yeah, so they get their pick if it's 1 through 4, and they get it if it's 10 or later. But right now, they have the 3rd worst record, but you know how tanking is, that your odds are tough. If they're them, I don't know if the NBA is going to allow this. We'll see if Adam Silver has any balls, because there's a lot of teams. Utah just traded for Jaren Jackson Jr. Is he hurt? No. Is he going to play? He might win him too many games. We'll see if Adam Silver has any balls, because if all these teams are allowed to do what Washington has done with Trae Young, which is like he has all these mystery injuries we didn't even know about. He might not play all year. If you do that, Adam Silver's just letting everybody walk all over him. And yet, the Pacers getting Zubats, Siakam, that's a good team, man.
Yeah, Zubats is good.
You're going to actually win a lot of games.
They kind of can't play him.
I think that they should try to win a bunch and get the 10th pick with a chance of getting a top because even where they are, they're not guaranteed to win that.
Well, I mean, don't forget that the Clippers are in just an absolute tailspin with their fans as well. Like from a business standpoint, it behooves them to make themselves interesting.
The Clippers?
Yes.
Oh, I was talking about the Pacers.
Oh, the Pacers.
I'm
sorry.
The Pacers,
but the Pacers are actually in a different place because
their team understands it.
They understand it because they just went to the NBA Finals. Dude, that's a nightmare. They went to the NBA Finals last year, and then they're talking about
they're the 3rd worst record in the NBA right now.
It's unreal.
Well, good start. He won't play against the Bucks tonight. Although I do think he actually just had a kid, which is what that's about.
True. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, no.
How weird is that? Literally hours after getting traded, had a kid. What a busy day.
I think they got to try to.
Is his child now officially an Indianan?
Yeah, do you think you almost don't care that you got traded, or is it
probably that's the biggest day of your life? I can't imagine. The trade is so weird.
I think they should shoot for the moon. I think they should fight. They should dare Adam Silver to do anything. They should find a way to sit him as much as they can.
You know what Adam Silver will do? He'll say, "Okay, nothing I can do about it." Oh, you're the 5th pick.
Oh yeah,
bad bounce of the ball, man. What a bummer.
That's the most likely.
Exactly what
But I mean, if the Pacers can come out of this and snag a top 4 pick in a draft people like, and add Zubats and bring Halliburton back, that's a really neat maneuvering of where they were
for sure.
They might be really good next year. We have a super chat. We'll read it.
Realist. I think George Niang should be the buyout player.
Why don't you like George Niang?
Rebounds, 3-point shooter, provides an attitude this team needs, like Millsap in the bubble versus the Clippers.
That might be my least favorite player in the NBA.
Really?
That's not attitude based.
Why don't you like him?
Well, I don't like.
See how he's shaped. It's all it is.
I hate watching him play basketball.
And shoot.
He looks like a retired swimmer. But I like this. You might be the only person in history who comped George Niang to Paul Millsap, especially specifically because of what Millsap did in the bubble to the Clippers.
That's incredible, though. I like George Niang. He's not the worst. I still like this Hayward Highsmith. We talked ourselves into it. I'm kind of in on it.
Either.
Really?
He looks like a tweener to me.
He plays big though. He's like a tweener that plays
Yeah,
big.
but he's like a Spencer Jones almost. It's almost like adding another
But it's
Spencer
like
Jones.
we have Spencer Jones.
We have Spencer Jones at home.
Couldn't you
we
use
have
two,
Highsmith at home.
Couldn't you use two?
The truth is, all these guys are just to spell
That's what
a
I'm
little
saying, dude.
period.
I am much more like somebody said we didn't have him anymore, but Kessler Edwards, I think we still have him. Do we not?
I thought he was still with the gold.
I thought so too. I like that guy. I think that guy's interesting. I'm surprised they have
He's
not
with
given
the
him.
gold, but he's not a two-way player.
Yeah, yeah,
Right. But
Convert him
we
in.
have access to him. Somebody said another team signed him, and I don't think that's true. I think he's still available to be with the Nuggets. Like I don't know. I like that guy.
We got one at the buzzer.
Maddox, the Denver 4-6 weekers. I never want to hear 4-6 again in my life.
Knock on wood.
4
we
to
don't.
6.
Yeah,
Everybody-
it's like 4-6.
We're back in 24 hours, and when you see us, we're going to be getting ready for a Denver Nuggets game. Can't wait. Hit the like button on the way out. We'll see you.